2-1 now.
Now we're live. Hi
Woo!
guys. How are you doing today on this marvelous Tuesday afternoon, evening? It's no longer afternoon. It is definitely like approaching nighttime.
That's still afternoon though. It's fine.
Yes, it is afternoon. Like that is absolutely fair. Yeah, that. So, anyway, hello and welcome to our channel, which is Tales of Initiative. Just in case you weren't aware of where you were, this is Tales of Initiative, and we have lots of really cool games that we're. It's cool. Like you should hang out with us more. This specifically is Tales of Misadventure. We play one-shot and short-form style tabletop games of all types. If you'd like to check out our other shenanigans, head over to Tales of Initiative's YouTube page and take a look at the misadventures we've uploaded there. Last week, we wrapped up a Monster Hearts adventure where 4 heisty teens plotted to steal some Fabergé eggs for some arguably very good reasons. Definitely go check out A Heist Society and catch some of our other Tales members in RP action. I believe we had Melissa as a guest spot, and then we had my beautiful husband Trey as a guest spot. It was really cool. Before we get too far, I believe Ruben has words to say.
I do have words to say, and quite a few of them. We are back with our godly story, and we are still sponsored by Evil Hat. So our secret word will be revealed later on this episode, so stay tuned for that for your chance to win a monstrous $25 gift certificate to Evil Hat's online store. If you enter that secret word at any point during this episode after it's revealed, and next episode, you'll be given a double chance to win the gift certificate. We'll be announcing the winner for that certificate after next week's episode. We'll have a little bit of a time slot for that. There's also a Tales of Initiative exclusive discount code for 50% off the Inquisitor class made by our sponsor, Day 20 Gaming. So thanks to all the creators who continue to support our streams, and definitely send us an email or contact us on any social media platform if you're interested in sponsoring any of our streams or all of them.
Yes. Look, I'm gonna post in the chat real quick. Oh. There we go. I posted just now the link that gives you 50% off of the Inquisitor class that Matt Best came up with.
Mm-hmm.
And is in Sunset on Wednesdays. Correct? Yes. I'm intelligent.
You sure are.
Thank you, Sean. Aww. This is part 3 of our Gods and Monsters story, Eternal Haunted Night. It's based loosely on the adventure in the book. I say loosely, it's following the grand scheme of things, but like I switched some things around for our funsies. It's better that way. General disclaimer, we're all far from perfect. We may not make decisions or use rules, but that's okay. And we will definitely do our best. And as long as we're having fun, that's the most important part. Yeah. If we're ready to begin, would my lovely little gods and goddesses like to introduce themselves, starting with Danny?
Hey, I'm Danny. I'm going to be playing Nunca, the goddess of the void. She's kind of like the mother of everything.
And then Alexi.
Hi, I'm Lexi. I'll be playing Strix, who is the goddess of darkness and balance. Basically, she was born a human, and now she's a god. Please don't ask why. Just kidding, please ask why.
Sean.
I'm finally here. I'm Sean. I'm playing Marevir, who is the god of tides, treasure, and generosity. Uh, yeah,
Yeah. And then
I'm a fish
Ruben.
man.
You're a fish man?
I'm a fish man, oh no. And hello, I am Ruben. I am playing Metztali, the god of the moon and all the things that are creepy and crawly in the night.
So overall, a really interesting cast of gods.
Yeah.
Just throwing it out there.
All very normal.
Very normal people. What are you talking about? Like, it's fine. Okay, we have a recap that is prepped for you guys today, since it's been a hot second since the last part of our fantastical epic. So sit tight and we'll get the story rolling really soon. Hello.
You always were a drunk. My mom always told me that you were a drunk, and you're just over here throwing wine everywhere.
Kind of like the ancient Roman version of like a Snooki bump.
Into their own mind.
You see these ghostly looking pirates. What is it, Mother?
Noticed a distinct lack of sunlight in the sky. Care to
Don't
explain?
You wouldn't just blatantly have a skull come out of the ground and eat the sun, because that's just too obvious. Look. If you want to create a new sun with a U, not that I don't like you, you're very pretty. I'm
very
here
pretty.
for you, and I can help. I don't know what happened to the old one, but I do know that whatever it was came from the passage, one of the passages that goes into the Underworld. And we're back. And this music is far too upbeat for what we're doing right now.
There you are.
For no reason at all. At all. Okay. So. Sliding back into our little rolls here. We bring it all back with, I believe at the end of the last session, the fight with the pirates was pretty successful, and everybody had decided to start making their way over to the far northern part of the desert, where one of these entrances to the Underworld is. However, we're gonna take a quick little zoom across the ocean as Marevir, what you've been doing this whole time that the sun disappeared from the sky. I will say, you actually didn't notice it all that much. It wasn't the darkness that disturbed you, because you were in your underground lighthouse, like your underwater lighthouse, where there's barely any light anyway. Except for what might maybe still magically happen at the lighthouse sometimes. Deep under the ocean. And what catches your attention is the amount of coins that are suddenly through the ocean on the currents around this lighthouse, kind of swirling, sparkling in the darkness. And you listen to them, and the things that they're saying is terrifying. You can almost hear the whispers of the coins the whispers of prayers that had been spoken into them and tossed into your well, or tossed into the ocean, hoping that they found safe passage. And it's... the sun is gone, and there are no stars. I'm lost at sea. I hope... please, let us pass safely. There's so many from your community that you really have a solid place in the first city that speak of moon rising backwards, that speak of ghostly pirates coming up out of the ocean mists, the darkness of the moon. Somebody you're pretty familiar with, Metzley, floating above the city, cackling. And in some of these prayers, these people are a little scared. And you're kind of roused to go figure out what the fuck is going on. So if you would like to describe your character.
All right. Marevir is a humanoid looking, like a masculine humanoid looking entity with kind of like a seafoam green skin, dark blue green hair with like a sort of like crown of bright glowing red coral around his head, and a long flowing sort of like skirt dress like mass of like cloth off of his waist. Gives him almost like a merfolk kind of look. And I will leave my lighthouse and start heading to the first city, since that is where a lot of the coins came from, and also hopefully where Moon Boy still is.
Thanks, Moon. Ballad. You kind of call on the ocean currents and you just zip through the ocean at top speed. There are lots of fish that kind of like swim by and they're like, hey, what's up, dude? How's it going? You know, there's some like manta rays that like do the little very slow coast underneath you for a second. Just chilling, vibing. And then you come up towards the coast where the docks are. And even before you've risen, there's a terrifying sight because there's all these ghostly pirate ships that are docked. Very what is it called? Davy Jones. Very Davy Jones kind of vibes.
Not sure.
Sails covered in moss. Some of them more spectral. Some of them like made out of bones. And there's these pirates that very clearly are in a weird state of zombieism and ghostism. But they're being solidly beaten back by like, here it would probably be various ship crew mates with like oars and harpoons and, you know, spears and like fish catching devices. And they seem like they're doing really well. Like these people, there's almost like a manic look in their eyes as they are completely like eviscerating these pirates. Some of them don't even look to notice when you come up out of the water. And usually, if you set foot on the dock, people notice. You know,
Right.
people take that second to bow or toss a coin your way or a little prayer or thank you or safe passage and stuff like that. And then up in the sky, kind of more towards the city, is Metzley, floating with kind of like a pale moon-like glow. A weird kind of aura floating around him. And you just hear the cackling come out over the tops of the buildings.
Okay. Bit of a situation here, very clearly. Awesome. Good to see. This is all going like this. Metzley! Friend. Buddy.
Just kind of like look down,
Yeah,
see
hi.
him in the distance. We'll be right there.
Please take your time. Nothing concerning is happening at all. And I'm gonna use with the number of tides that I got asking for help from the city, can I use my tithe to kind of try and pull the pirate ships out of the dock a little bit?
Ooh. Ooh. I like it. You know, I definitely think so. I definitely think we're gonna roll. What did we decide that the stat attributed to that one was?
I think bold.
Bold, clever, or swift? Yeah, bold makes sense. So definitely roll your fate dice, your little fudgy guys.
Been rolling terrible all prep.
Eat them.
So here's
And
hoping.
then add your number attached to bold.
Got a 6 total.
Holy cow.
Ooh!
I
That's
rolled
powerful.
all positives, baby.
Bro! That is some wild shit, bro. Yeah,
It's
no, that'll be a success.
fantastic.
So, you collect yourself for a second, because clearly Metzley's gonna take a sweet time
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
coming down to the docks for you. Take a moment, and there's almost like a gold coin just kind of appears between your fingers, and you're playing with it. And then suddenly, the tides in the ocean are rising, pushing, pulling. And all of the boats that were anchored there, real or spectral, start floating out to sea. And you can just see the undead ghostly crew of these ships panicking, trying to figure out how to get back. Some of them are kind of leaning into it well, we were clearly losing anyway, so I'm just gonna head. See you later, and bye. And yeah, over the course of probably the next 15 minutes, the tides are just pulling boats away from the shore. Metzley, you were called to by Marevir, and Nunca and Strix are still below you, trying to figure out
Yeah,
how to get you down.
if I recall correctly, I had just got done summoning the wilds and vampires and werewolves into
Yeah.
the city.
Mm-hmm.
And I turned down to Nunca and Strix, and I'm just like, well, I think this is sufficiently taken care of, and the ocean calls. So, shall we? and I just float down towards the entrance of, of the city.
Okay.
Mm.
Opinions? Thoughts?
I just follow. I'm just shaking my head.
Am I still bleeding?
You're what? Are
Am
you
I
still bleeding?
Yeah, because I got like stabbed or something.
No. I will say it can absolutely have healed while you were talking to Nunca in the time that it's been since you were stabbed.
Great. I'm gonna follow Inga and just kind of like whisper like, I hate him. I hate him. And just keep walking.
Oh. So probably takes like 10 minutes, but you're kind of gods, so you're just walking mostly untouched. And these three walk up onto the dock area where you are, Marevir.
Fantastic. Metzley, I'm sure you remember we have this whole agreement, you and I, between the moon, the tides, push and pull, all that. And according to some very reliable sources of mine, it's supposed to be daytime right now.
Mm-hmm.
And I happened to see, I believe, yes, that is the moon up there again. Uh, None of the lighthouses are lit because it's supposed to be daytime. People are getting lost. I'm getting a lot of prayers and calls for help from so many people. What happened?
That's what we're trying to
What's
find
going on?
out, actually. My brother seemed to have misplaced his orb.
Misplaced it. Ah, I see. Right, of course. How are all of you doing today?
Great. Just kind of like a wild look in my eyes.
He does. He looks a little like wild. A little. You can almost feel power crackling off of him too.
I'm doing phenomenal.
You should get that looked at, Mitzi. You're looking particularly manic today. I don't know if that's what the look you were going for was when you woke up, but if it was,
Honestly,
congrats. You pulled it off very well.
I mean, we were at a party. I haven't really slept, but
Good.
there's also the fact that I had to like just kind of reel back the moon a little bit, and it kind of moved a couple phases, so it happens.
Yes, it does.
Yeah.
So we clearly have a problem. How can I help solve this? What have we found out so far? What is? Does anyone have any ideas?
Dunga? I think you had most of the ideas.
Well, I already talked to my son. He seemed to think it was Gloria, but Gloria, I talked to her. She had nothing to do with it. But there was a giant fist that came and took the sun, apparently leading to the Underworld. So I think that's where we should go.
Fantastic.
No.
Beautiful. I think so.
Okay.
Amazing.
It's towards the forest or the desert. I
It's
forgot.
towards the desert.
Yeah.
The Trackless Desert lies up towards the north, and the kind of location that you remember seeing on the map that Gloria marked for you was specifically up kind of range to the east. Had to remember my directions. I don't refer. Yeah, so the mountain range lies to the east, the desert lies to the north, and she kind of marked on the map a spot kind of in the base of the mountain range, but still in the desert. And you hadn't quite traveled that far north in the desert. There's some interesting pantheon shifts as you go further into the desert, because you kind of like cross into different territory, so to speak. But yes, if you were to leave the city and start hiking up north, it'd be pretty easy.
I take a
Not an
bucket
easy
of water
journey,
with
but-
me.
You can definitely take a bucket of water with you, sir.
Cool. I'm gonna need that.
Amazing.
I
I
am
love it.
darkly reminded of a certain moment in a certain show. where
Standing
there's a
in the
bucket of
bucket.
water.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we just leave it on
Face.
foot?
If there's a river we could follow into the desert, that'd be nice. I'm not particularly keen on going to the desert, but you know.
The desert's nicer than you think it is.
For you, maybe. Not so much for me.
Okay, sure.
Marevir looks over at you with his dewy skin.
Have a bucket full of seawater,
Yes,
carrying it like a lunchbox.
makes sense. I love it.
Amazing.
What would be really funny is if he used that bucket later on to do the like regional stunt.
Oh my god, yeah.
Like Cthulhu comes up out of this fucking bucket.
Don't worry, everyone, I have a solution. And just eldritch horror from the bottom of the ocean.
Here, let me just shake this out real quick. Sorry, gotta get it out of the bottom. They stick sometimes.
Oh no.
Watch it like, okay.
Bro. Okay, so there is a kind of like a river that flows towards the mountain. Well, it's flowing from the mountain range. I know how rivers work. But it goes towards the mountain range. It kind of spikes northward and through a mountain pass that you could probably follow for most of the journey. It wouldn't be difficult. Would not
That's
be
fine.
difficult. Okay. If there's nothing else you would like to do or gather from the city, okie doke.
I've done my damage.
You've done your damage.
Sure
The
have.
city will remember. They will remember.
Oh, no.
Was in the middle of filing so many taxes.
Yeah, don't you know? The IRS comes for you. Ancient Roman IRS. They come for you.
Their primary point of income is people throwing coins into the ocean to say prayers. Got a lot of stuff I gotta report on, you know?
Mm-hmm.
I think they're too scared of Nunca to come for the IRS, so they just leave her alone.
Understandable. This whole situation over here, very terrifying. Looking great, as always, Ninka.
Love
Thank
it.
you. She's humanoid right now.
Yeah,
At the moment.
there you go. What face is Nunca wearing at the moment?
Just a very pretty, like, sort of middle-aged woman, but with void, like, dark black, voidless eyes. It's just like the one thing she can't fully conceal about her nature.
Looking
Looking
out
great.
the
Like,
window.
really. Oh boy. Gonna stand over there.
You're just terrified, Marevir, because that's your grandma.
Woo!
You know, Marevir, never call me.
I don't have a
Oh
phone.
boy.
You don't have to use a phone.
You never call me. You just flip a coin. Ocean.
I
You do
have.
live in a desert. The ocean's a little far away.
I've come by. You just never answer.
Oh. Ooh.
Didn't know I
They're
was gonna
very
have to like trigger warning family trauma.
Right?
Marevir is suffering from a little bit of low tide right now.
We'll discuss that after we fix the sun. All right. Then we can discuss my very busy schedule.
Hmm.
It is nice to
Ooh.
see you.
Well, it's very nice to see you too.
Your journey through the kind of farming region around the first city is the easiest part. You see lots of cows and goats and like wild dogs, and it's very peaceful. Like, it's really dark, and you pass by and there'll be a farmer kind of in his cart headed to the city, and you'll get that passing question of, do you... Hi, apologies, I don't mean to take away from God's day, but do you know what's going on with that ding dang sun? And why the moon is there? And none of the stars?
Hi, the moon here. I'd go home if I were you right now. I'm pretty sure today is just everyone's day off.
We're
Sadly.
working on it. Rest assured, everything will be absolutely fine.
Oh,
Just
well,
it'll be fine. Don't worry about it.
I'm sure I'm glad that somebody's working on it. Thanks, bunch.
I'll just give like motherly reassurance, like we'll figure this out. You know, just go ahead, go home, and we'll make sure that you have safe passage.
Gonna give him a gold coin. Just
Oh,
it'll be fine.
bro. It's like, this is more than I would have made at the market. Thank you so much. I really appreciate his little horse and cart around and stumbles back down the way he was coming. Horses don't do great at night. They don't have night vision.
They don't.
It's okay. He's got a blessing. It's fine.
Yeah, it's fine. He's blessed. It's cool. It's cool.
Mhm.
So this first quote unquote day of journey is it's pretty chill. It's pretty easy. A lot of the action going on right now is in the settlements. You can all kind of hear prayers from your communities or different communities who know that you are the prime deities who would be dealing with this right now. And you can hear them talking about like monsters that feel at home in the night now not having any boundaries. You know, like the sun kept them at bay, and now they're out and about and loose, and these people are just praying for an end to this night. Praying for safety, praying in different places. Again, those sailors who are in the middle of the ocean right now with only the moon. Figure out where they're going, which sucks. But as the day goes on,
We get so many bad reviews on Yelp. Oh my
so
God.
many bad reviews on Yelp.
I mean, the moon's not even where it's supposed to be.
It's
So many. As the day goes, dark though it may be, eventually, it could be a moment later, it could be hours later, it could be years later, right? You don't really have the greatest grasp on what time is because you have endless amounts of it. And especially given that the sky isn't changing, kind of hard to judge. But the stars do start twinkling in the sky. Somewhere around the time where they should have risen. You know, that are the first up there chilling.
Oh. They've woken up.
They have.
At least there's one.
They've woken up. And like as the hours pass, a few more, the moon to be a fixed kind of where it is in the sky, hanging perpetually in one spot. And then that's the last change in like the physicality of what the sky looks like for a while. It could be days that go by as you're walking, you're taking naps, having a snack, chatting, bugging each other for not talking more often. You're making your way through kind of this great sweeping grassland, feeling the openness of it. And the sky doesn't change. It's perturbing. The prayers that you're receiving start coming through, and they've labeled it. They've labeled it the eternal night, or the endless night, or the night that never leaves. They've started kind of assuming that they're just stuck in the nighttime forever. And a lot of them are scared about it. And then you finally cross over into this kind of scrubland. And Nuka, you feel kind of that familiarity, the dry, arid desert air. Very cold because it's nighttime and sand kind of just reflects whatever temperature is around it. But you feel that moment of, okay, I'm kind of back in my region, back home. In the river that you started to follow it's getting really tiny. And some places it becomes a little like the river at the bottom of the Grand Canyon, where like there's kind of a canyon opening up in the desert, like red and awful looking, with what looks like a little stream at the bottom. Just chilling. It's making its way. It's doing good. And you come up to the place that's marked on your map. Which feels like foreboding darkness. It does not feel good. It, in fact, feels the worst and makes you kind of want to turn around and leave. But there's definitely a large crack in the side of kind of like the cliff faces that appears to lead downward. And it is bathed in, if possible, more darkness. It's almost like the light of the moon doesn't reach this particular place.
Yeah.
What would you like to do?
Do you think they have rivers in the underworld? Do you think, like, what do you think the odds are on that?
I think they're supposed to. Or
There's rivers. go down there quite a bit. So,
There's definitely one major one.
yeah.
The river Styx. You know,
Hmm.
mostly lost souls.
Yeah.
Very
Lost
man.
souls,
I think you're not
water.
supposed to get in it, though.
Yeah, a little scary.
Lost souls, damnation, water. They're similar. It'll be fine.
Same diff. I look
Um,
into the hole, and I'm like, well, I don't see sunlight, so I say we've tried our best. I this way.
Oh, I push him in.
I just kind of laugh a little bit and take out one of the coins that Gloria gave me and like rub it a little bit to make it light.
Okay. A little piece of what looks kind of like scale mail starts to glow with a very warm brightness. Metzley and Strix, you don't know where she got that. It looks a little weird, but she has it, and that's cool.
I'm just gonna whisper like to myself under my breath, "Thank you, Gloria."
Cute.
Gloria's great.
And
Indeed.
the entrance of this cave kind of lights up. The first thing you notice is that it is a very large cavern. A lot of the passages to the Underworld are smaller. They require more trickiness to get through. This is literally like gigantic. The sun came through here for sure. You notice places that seem scorched on the walls, also pointing out that something very, very hot came through here not too long ago. There's webs dripping from around the walls. I'm sorry. I need to fix something real quick. Here we go. And something moves down in those depths. Kind of called up a little bit by the light. And it looks like a gigantic, just about filling this space, spider.
Oh, good.
His hair with pincers at the end extend out all around the cave. The webs are dripping from him and from the sides. You can see now there are skeletons wrapped up in some of these webbing, and his red glowing eyes, in their hundreds, kind of glisten around his head. And he whispers, "Who brings the light to this darkness? Is that you, Gloria?"
No, it's Nuka, actually.
Why are you bearing Gloria's light?
Because I just saw her. And she has agreed to help look for the sun, which I'm assuming by all of this has come down here. Did you see it? I can't imagine you want that much light down here.
I'm not a fan of any of the light. But I am also not a fan of Zaryvia.
I think there's a line you can get in.
I might have seen the sun. What is your goal with the sun?
Let's bring
There's
it
a
back.
hiss.
Where
I'd like to put it
belongs.
back. Yeah.
Ah, I can't, don't know if I can let that happen.
And why is that? Do I know this entity?
Roll! Probably a... Let me look.
This
at
is clearly Tim from accounting.
Tim from accounting? How did you know?
So I have to file so many taxes.
I would say that would be a wisdom roll. Or a clever roll. Pick whichever one.
I'll do wise. Wow, okay. 13.
This...
No, wait. I did that completely incorrectly. So that's 4. A 2 is a...
2 is
-1?
-1.
-1.
Okay.
So +1 and 3 -1.
So that's... and 6 is a 4, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so 4... 3. That's a 3. My bad.
Okay. Little less crazy.
Yeah. Okay. I forgot to put the F when I...
Yeah, you're good. So, +3?
Yes.
Managed to roll 5 over the highest thing.
Anybody else who would like to roll and try to see if you are looking is, you're welcome to also do the same roll.
Heck yeah. I'll do
I
that.
will say, Nunca, with a +3, he's familiar. You know that this region, most humans don't come by looking because they have dubbed it as haunted. Gives them the EBGBs, so they don't generally don't come around here unless they're like cursed, trying to like go down to the Underworld and find the lightning bolt, or that one guy, can't remember his name, Odysseus, traveling into the Underworld.
Orpheus?
Yeah, sure. Those people.
There's a lot of those,
people.
to be fair.
Yeah, those people that, are willing and brave enough, and then those who are trying to copy them, who are brave enough, but also stupid. Who might be some of the bones that you see. But you can't place a name to this giant fucking spider. How did everybody else roll?
Oh, see, I got this. I got a fantastic 0.
Oh, yeah, nope.
Same 0.
So unfamiliar with this dude. You're like,
I
what
got a
the
5.
fuck? There's a spider god? What?
It's like,
and then
do you know who this is?
passing notes in the back of the class. If Marevir whispered that, Strix, you rolled +5?
Yep, +5.
Dope. Yes. This is Mazakal. He is the
Okay.
terrifying, very large spider god. He typically stays right here. Sometimes he travels through the Underworld to pop up in some other locations and make a nest there for a little bit. He's not evil, per se, but he is the father of all spiders. All of the spiders that crawl out from the Underworld to go and terrorize humanity with their scary venomous come from him. And he is, in fact, a member of the same pantheon as Gloria. So they do operate within the same circles. You would know, you've heard, he doesn't care too much for Gloria. But he finds Zaryvia and her little whatever the fuck is going on very tiresome. And he owed Gloria a favor from one of the times in the past where Gloria had saved his skin, so to speak.
Right.
So,
Oh.
Mazako could be here saying that you can't pass because of Theo's Gloria.
Right. Okay. I'm just going to like kind of look at the others and just kind of shake my head and just walk up. Magical, yeah. Hi, remember me? What's up?
Hello, young goddess.
Do you have to put the young part in there, because I'm like basically, judgment, and I can just like easily, trap you down here, but just kidding, so I'll never do that. I love you so much.
Doesn't he already
Threatening
live
me.
down here?
Was that
Yeah.
a threat?
No, it's definitely not. What a threat is probably never give you bunch cookies ever again. But I did not say that.
Speak.
But yeah, right, okay. So I remember, like, Gloria was her name, right? Totally unimportant. That she totally told you, like, to not let anybody in here because, like, a favor, I think it was something like. I don't really keep up with her because I don't really like the whole ordeal with that shit. But she totally like gave Nuka that and like told us to come through.
Roll.
So-
I think
Oh,
subtle
God.
or
Oh.
clever. You can choose subtle or clever.
Clever, please.
Okay.
Subtle is my least. In case you haven't seen.
Oh, it's fine. I believe it.
Oh God. Okay, great. That's a 4. Plus one.
Oh,
That's good.
good. You can use
Yeah.
a fate point to add 2 if you would like.
Oh, I
Uh,
would love that. Yes, add 2.
Yeah?
That is, yep.
Okay.
You talk
We're
about-
going to bump your clever score up a little bit. Mazakal shifts a little in this cave and kind of looks at you with all of his beady eyes. You can see his whole body kind of crumpling in on itself and expanding it to you. It leans in with that giant spider body. Did she send you for the new sun that we're making?
Right. I didn't really hear that part. All I heard was like, here, take this, and Mazuko will let you in. But if that's the correct answer, then totally.
Don't be suspicious. Don't be suspicious. He sits back a little.
can I jump in?
Yeah, for sure.
What Strix here means is we're actually here to inspect the new sun to make sure, navigation and everything needs to be up to snuff, right? So we are here to inspect it to make sure that it meets all the standards required of the people traveling and crops growing and such like that. So if you could let us through so we could get on with our work, that would be fantastic.
You
Yeah,
also
you know I can't lie.
you also shall roll a clever roll.
If I invoke, I don't remember what the different things are. If I invoke my silver tongue aspect, does that benefit me in any way?
Yeah, you can go ahead and add a +2. You would use a fate point to invoke it, so mark 1 less fate point on your little thingy. And then you will add +2 to your clever roll.
Okay, so it's plus total of 7.
There we go. He shifts back. Odd that you wouldn't have told me of
Yeah,
your
but these
coming
things get lost in the chain of interactions and such. It's hard to keep everyone in the loop all the time. You understand?
Yes. Ah. Well. Theros is constructing a new sun. He's in his portion of the Underworld. He's gathering things to make a giant ball of fire to put in the sky. In Gloria's name. The old one, went down. I believe got a little mad, and took it. I know Zaryvia had not been to see her in thousands of years after his last. She was not too happy about that, seeing as she also does not leave the confines of the earth too often, lest the underworld be unmaintained. Further to say, I believe that the sun rests in the grave garden down below. You'll need to pass the river Styx. But it is the place where all graves have their home. There are many at rest there. Gotadul spends a lot of time in that area. I don't go that deep very often. And Pharos, who is... You will have to make a roll to figure that out. Who Pharos is. Pharos lies deep beneath the crust, not across the river, but deep down where all of the, the molten danger rock comes out of the ground and flows from the surface of this stinking rock. He's down there, fixing up a new one. I will let you pass. But be wary. There are many of my spider children below, and I cannot exude influence over all of them.
Noted.
He shifts.
I know the feeling.
He nods. Parenthood is hard.
Yeah.
Onward, then. Good luck on your quest.
Thank you. There's an entrance to the void if you ever get sick of all the light. You're welcome to it. I could use some company.
Oh. Well, I haven't been invited anywhere in eons. I might have to take you up on that. It's in, like, more of the middle of the desert, right?
Oh yeah, big giant hole. We can't miss it.
I think there's some cracks that run up from the underworld that I could maybe get over there and...
It's a date.
He
We can complain about children.
Yes. Oh, Lord. I have no words for some of them. They are difficult, to say the least. Recently, there's been a new iteration of Spiderkin who... They're very black and shiny. Have a giant red mark on their butts. And they quite literally eat each other after mating. It's troublesome. I don't know what's going on with this newfangled age. These kids. What is... I don't know. I will not waste your time on this right now. You have bigger,
It's
better things to do.
We can talk when you visit.
Okay.
It's definitely sounds troublesome.
Wild. I'm telling you, wild. And he sinks back into the darkness a little, pulls his legs in towards himself, nestles down into kind of like the rocks, so that there is a passage into kind of like a webbed tunnel behind him, if you would like to traverse forwards.
Yeah.
Oh god. Please don't make void spider babies. Please.
Sounds kind of cool, actually.
Oh
They're
my
called
God.
voidlings.
Oh, okay.
Oh, boy.
Little did you know that this is the precursor to D&D. Like,
Right.
this is where the Dungeons and Dragons universe is based. Where do you think phase spiders came from?
Oh my god, I am walking. Don't need that.
We are walking. We are walking in the giant spider tunnel. Oh boy.
I
Um,
don't need a spider stepdad, thank you.
Listen, there's not very many people that I didn't make in this world, okay?
I get that.
This is true. This is true.
Yeah.
As we're walking, you said we can roll to figure out if we know Pharaoh.
Go ahead and make that, like, wisdom or clever roll to see if you can remember who Pharaoh's is in this age.
0 again.
Nope, I'm
Monsters
dumb as
unmet.
rocks. -2.
Well, shit.
Ah, shit.
Rolled the absolute minimum.
This is your friendly reminder that you can use a fate point to reroll all of your dice.
Yeah,
Oh,
but I only have one of those left.
I
I
know.
I forgot. I forgot what the how to roll this.
How to roll.
Oh, the fate dice?
Yeah.
4DF.
DF.
Yeah, that.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. A 4DF.
In this moment where people are rolling and figuring out how
Sure.
certain things like Roll20 work, the word for today to enter into chat and enter into our drawing for our last $25 gift certificate to Evil Hat. It's not gonna go to Danny because it went to somebody else has to win it, okay? Somebody else
Please
has to
somebody
win
else
here. The secret word is hot.
Oh,
Okay.
Memorandum of the last episode of High Society, where pure hotness,
brought me
pure
back
hotness,
to
literally
life.
brought Ruben's character back to life. Pure hotness. So definitely go ahead and put in that exclamation point. OT. Spelling does matter. Otherwise I would say to put in Raz, but it's fine. We'll go with the actual word. H-O-T, hot. Spicy. Yes, so what were our rolls to figure out who Pharos is?
-2.
I
Zero.
had positive 2.
+2, +4. Okay. Lunka, you've heard the phrase before, but not too familiar. That's a lot of
I've got to get out more.
these people entities that are kind of from the underworld are more difficult for you to remember because like it's not often that people just go off and visit the underworld. It's a little scary. Chill in the void, it's fine. So you wouldn't entirely remember these people. There's also some very weird, interesting, and strange gods and children of the Underdark. Main title. I'm gonna write that down.
Yeah.
That aren't necessarily from you creating the world. It's like some of them are just they were created during the period in which you were napping. You took your long nap. And you kind of woke up and was like, oh, what? There's like a god of spiders? That's weird. Didn't know that.
Who are all these people?
People, I don't remember them at all. Somebody explain to me. Strix, however, you've been around quite a lot, and you did a lot of traveling to the underworld and back, and like walking down there and shunting people around so that they were more peaceful. Like you're pretty solidly in there with the excuse me, with like the river Styx and the what's that called? Ferryman.
Mhm.
You guys got like you have like a little like deal where you don't have to pay every single time you cross the river because you're there so often that like it's just it's just like a payment plan.
Yeah.
You have
Friends and
the
family.
the bus pass.
Yeah,
Right.
basically I have to like pay like every millennia.
Yeah, you got that Metro card that covers like an entire millennia. It's great.
Yeah.
Is the god of scrolling. The god of like smoke and molten iron. So
Oh,
the
not
magma that sits underneath the earth and roils around in the center. No, he's not the god of scrolling. Oh my god.
He makes
He's-
scrolls. It's fine.
He's the god of smoke and molten iron. He is, what's the word? Worshipped by quite a few smiths. Like, in a sense of, like, he is what provides heat and helps shape swords in the making, spears in the making. There are areas that are at the base of volcanoes who worship him purely to make sure that lava doesn't spew out of the volcano and the whole area.
Mm-hmm.
And he sits very deep down into the earth. The underworld is almost a house for other planes of existence. There's the material plane, of course. but the entrance to Gotat-Ul's Underworld is almost like stepping into another plane of existence. He's just a little ways down the street. Very capable of building a new sun as long as he had the right materials.
Okay.
Also in the same pantheon as Gloria.
No, of course.
Also, as a note, Raz, because I spend a fate point, I'm gonna store a power point into my lighthouse
Okay,
so I don't blow up.
dope.
Please blow up. I'm so
Don't
close.
blow up. Cool.
I'm very far from it. I have to like spend like 5.
Wait, so I'm not related to Gloria? I'm not related to Gloria.
Gloria came into being when, like, light and fire kind of was brought to mankind. So, no?
Okay, cool.
There's, like, a lot of these gods that, like, are made from certain just happenstances occurring.
Cool.
That's kind of interesting and neat. It's weird how god pantheons and family work.
Yeah.
You often call each other all of you are often referred to as like sisters and brothers and mothers and uncles and aunts. Even if there's like technically no real like DNA exchange because you're like gods and you're just pure volition shaping yourselves and the world. So, but no, you're technically not directly related to Gloria.
Mortals make things weird sometimes.
Mortals do be making some weird. I'm sure there's some like fan fiction of Metzli and Zaryvia somewhere out there.
Most likely.
Somewhere out there in the terrifying first city.
I mean,
It
also
exists.
to
It's
be
on one of
fair-
those like clay.
Yeah, the pots. To
No!
be fair, though, like technically,
Tablets.
the fight between me and my brother did spawn gods, so technically we are parents
Exactly.
to gods together.
Like, y'all freaking, like, like, chaos, man. I
Yeah.
don't know how that happened. But, yeah, chaos kind of has 2 dads. That's weird.
Yep.
It was like, you didn't talk about him much. He was terrible. You both kind of thought about locking him away for eternity.
As you do.
But then Strix
Yeah.
fixed it. It's okay.
Exactly.
So, Strix, do you relay the information about Pharos as you guys are walking through the spider tunnel?
Yeah, I'm just gonna like kind of look at all the webs and kind of shrivel, but just thinking about the date of between Nuka and him and just be like, okay, so he's Theros, right?
He's what?
Okay. I don't know if you guys know, but like basically Theros is like the god of lava and iron, molten iron, like, you know, the smiths shit. Yeah. So that's kind of a problem, which means like there's absolutely a way for them to make the sun because of him being lava. You know, baking shit. Yeah. So, I have no idea what the fuck's going on here.
Is it necessarily a bad thing that they're making a new sun? We are currently missing a sun.
I
So,
mean, Zaryvia could just be the god of being a hot bald guy.
Well, I don't think it works like that. I mean, if he has nothing to be a god of, then he's not going to exist anymore.
He can be the god of being my brother. then I guess.
That's not a thing. I'm
It could
sorry,
be.
that's not.
You can be the god of
Literally.
There you go.
Judgment of all gods. It cannot be a thing. I'm
Could he
sorry.
not be the god of the new sun? Like we could just, we could do some paperwork, file a few forms. Theros hands over control of the new sun that he makes to this other person, and then they continue to be the god of the sun, and then the sun is there again, and we're all good.
I mean, it's not technically his because it's Gloria's now. Why? Yeah, so.
But where
I
did
mean-
his go?
Yeah, we need to figure out where his went
Well,
first.
he did like the cemetery shit, so we just have to go there. Do you think I know where it's at? I'll have to ask the ferryman, but yeah. This is just.
Yes.
You think. Are we done with
It's
this
enough.
shit?
My son needs to learn how to not make women angry.
Which are we talking with sun with U or sun with an O?
Both.
Both.
Okay. Fair enough.
That is true. You've heard a lot of things, Marevir, like Gloria was off and on with him for a very long time. They have a toxic relationship where like they keep coming back together and like they're really cool for some time and then they're really like they hate each other and they're trying to take each other down. And then there was the whole thing with Gathad who like he was kind of with, and then he just didn't go back and see her one day.
I mean, I definitely think like just this is just me. I know it's a little petty and selfish, but he's also my brother, so I do think he needs a bit of a demotion for a couple millennia.
Be the god of. I don't know.
He needs to learn to be the god of respecting women. That's what he needs to learn to be. I didn't raise him this way. What happened when I was asleep?
A lot.
Odd, and he got worse.
A lot.
What the hell?
Okay. So, like, I'm like the judgment of you guys. Maybe I can do something about it. Just, I've never really taken power away from a god before. So, yeah. I do not know what the heck to do here. I just know we need to get the sun back, or else something might happen to your brother or your son or whoever he is to you, your father. I don't give a shit. Yeah. So, yeah. Okay. I'm going. I'm stressing and I'm going.
Make a wisdom roll for me.
Awesome. Wisdom. Okay.
And you guys are now walking deep into the dark fucking ground. There's rocks, there's bones, there's
Question.
spears. Yeah.
Is there water?
Roll a d6 for me. Just a d6.
Roll a 3.
Roll the 1.
Nope. You rolled a 1?
Yeah.
Weird puddles of something. It does not strike you as being totally water. It's a little viscous. You're not sure about touching it. A little slimy, kind of. And these puddles do exist, kind of just peeking up along the pathway. But you don't see any, like, rivers of
I'm gonna
water.
chalk that one up to a no.
Strix, you have heard stories because of all of the research that you did prior to defeating your father and becoming a god yourself, where there are titles over millennia. I mean, in the same way Nunca was the beginning of everything for the longest time, and then a death cult, an end of the world cult, was like, oh, the void, that must be the end of everything. And so her identity shifted a little bit. You know, when you were created, that you kind of came into a power. It's possible to do some sun swapping around with minimal problems. Cause there's just the personal fallout that might happen. Just some knowledge.
Okay.
For you to think on and stew about.
I could go for some stew.
You will go for some stew? Well, there is no stew. Speaking of, spiders 100% start dropping from the ceiling the deeper down you go. I would like for somebody to roll a dice for me.
Any die?
I mean, a d20 if you have it on you.
Sure. 13.
Okay. They don't seem to be going out of their way to hurt you guys, but they are landing kind of like in your hair, skittering down the back of your clothes. It's like a full tarantula that's like chilling on top of Marevir's head.
Ah. Hi, friends. Can you go anywhere else? Just.
I'll like put my hand out to take the tarantula, just like have him sit on my shoulder. Like, hey, you're kind of cute, fuzzy.
Of course.
Roll. I'm gonna say subtle.
Mm. 4.
Yeah, sure. Little spider guy, he's like kind of like as big as your hand. Kind of traipses off of the coral crown around Mar and skitters up into the palm of your hand and looks up at you like with his little mandibles like moving.
Boy, little guy, you're kind of cute. Why don't you just stay right up here and keep your brothers and sisters off me?
And I
Speaks Simish.
use one of my fates.
Sure.
My fate aspecty thingies. Child of Night.
Spend a fate point.
Spend a fate point. Invoke Child of Night. To kind of not necessarily control the spiders, but kind of like push into their little spider bodies, like my intent of finding the new sun.
Ooh, I see what you're trying to do. Go ahead and roll. What is attached to that aspect for you?
Subtle.
Go ahead and roll settle.
Because of course it is. I'm a sneaky boy.
A sneaky, sneaky boy.
See, that's +2. That's 0. So +2 was that's 5.
Dope. Some of these spiders like kind of crawl around and zero in on your hands And they kind of like are lining your fingers, looking up at you. Just maybe hundreds of little glistening bodies with long legs and glittering eyes. They look up at you the same way that that big tarantula looked up at Nunca, and they're just like, and
I appreciate that all these tarantulas are Animal Crossing villagers.
yes, don't you know? All non-verbal creatures sound the same. And they kind of like almost telepathically have this weird like spider sense that they give you of like there's the tunnel that branches off to go towards the river Styx, and then there's a tunnel that goes deep, and it's just spiraling like rock staircase going down, and that would be where the new sun is. Is there anything else we would like to talk about or try to figure out as you walk through the dark and scary tunnels?
Just trying to get the spiders to just kind of like subliminally kind of like move the party that way.
Oh God, please no.
You can just say go that way.
God,
Yeah,
he's already
but-
following you.
But we're actually following Strix, not me. She's been here.
That's true. You are following Strix.
It's true. Do
I am
you
not
want to
following
find?
the spiders.
What? Okay,
I am not following the spiders.
that's fair.
Okay. But now we're looking for two different suns.
There is two different ways that you could go about this. I think you've expressed a desire to find the old sun first, but you're free to talk amongst yourselves and
All right. Well,
pinpoint that down.
do we want to go with Theros' new son and just put that up there and deny your son his power because he's an asshole? Or do we want to find his son and put that back to restore the status quo of things? As long as there is a son, I am happy.
Right. Well, here's the thing. If we find the sun, what the heck are we going to do about it? How the heck are we going to get it out? And the
Yeah.
second part,
We have to probably convince Gothadul, and I don't want to do that.
I don't think I've met her.
I don't think you want to.
she's a lot. I've heard a lot of stories. She's a lot. I don't. If we go to the old sun, how do we get it out? If we go to the new sun, we have to deal with a lot of people.
I mean, technically, if we go to the new sun, we technically just have to be like, hey, good job, continue on with what you're doing, and then it'll fix itself.
Eventually.
But we have to convince them to let the sun back in the sky, but not in Gloria's name.
What happens if we just
Is that a
Have two
bad thing,
sons.
though?
That'd be interesting.
I don't think that's good.
No.
think-
I mean, probably not, but it'd be interesting.
I mean, wouldn't that dry out the ocean?
I mean, we'd have to do the same thing that we did and probably battle it out and make a new moon.
Oh God, no,
Oh.
not again. Please, not
No.
again.
What if we made another
Spider
ocean?
Moon!
Ugh.
I think we should make a second set of oceans.
I don't think we have
No.
room for that.
Most of the planet is an ocean.
But consider
A second set of oceans is just the whole planet's an ocean.
There's
But if we
already
just-
a second ocean.
we could just make more planets and put more ocean on the more planets.
Oh god. Can somebody just hit him, please?
Please don't. I am fragile.
I am
Somebody
all
flip that for me.
crispy.
If you want to what?
No, just somebody clip that so
Oh.
we can use it as a sound on TikTok. Please don't. I am fragile.
Please don't. I'm fragile.
But really, would it be a bad thing?
I mean, your brother wouldn't have his purpose anymore. He'd be pretty lost.
Yeah.
But he's
Pretty
only
much.
caused problems since his inception.
I mean, he hasn't only caused problems, though. Just in his personal life, as the son, he's done fine.
I've literally had to go to war for him, against him, because he was just burning the mortals asunder.
Yeah, but he's been fine after.
That's because I've been here.
Exactly. That's by no virtue of himself.
Okay. Maybe, now I'm saying this with a huge M, maybe there is a way that I could do something with this title. Like, no, you're not the god of the sun, you maybe god of shit. I don't know.
Make him the god of sunlight, and then he still has
Isn't that
his
Gloria?
grandiose. No,
No,
she's just
she's-
light she's just light incarnate.
Somebody alive. Why
But
can't you just be like this lantern? God of
gets
lantern.
kind of like she gets moved up into the sky, and he just kind of sits in his palace, which he does anyway. When he's
I
not
mean, he's
being
going.
girls.
She's going against rules that have been set there for a reason. Why the heck would I even allow her to be the god of the sun when she's trying to steal the sun and make her own?
To be
I
fair,
mean, what does that say about her
Okay.
character? She could easily steal the moon too. It's like, hey, I want the moon too. What are you gonna do about it now?
well, darkness kind of can thrive down here. The sun can't.
I'm just saying, she could easily just want more.
Well, that's your job, right? To stop that from happening?
Oh hell no! You better not put this shit on me.
You're the one that said you could possibly do something.
I said possibly because that's a huge maybe. This is
I
the
don't know.
reason.
When I talked to Gloria,
I'm just gonna chalk up the
He-
second set of oceans as a maybe in the.
That's a hard ass no.
she did mention wanting to take over as the new son. I think when I talked to her, I convinced her not to.
But yeah, she's still doing it.
At least her
Well, I
pantheon is.
just left her, so I mean, time is.
Huh. Well, let's just hope that she follows your rules or your statement and is not down here. Because if she is down here, then that means she's a cold ass liar, and I'm going to do something.
I mean, I understand why she's angry. I understand why, but people need to start talking to each other. This is. I go to sleep for 5 minutes and shit happens.
Yeah. I'm. What came of it?
Yes, Strix is the shit that has happened.
The shit fixer.
I think
The shit
think
fixer.
if
for
they
sure.
just talk to each other instead of him hiding away and her just being angry at him.
So You're saying we should put them in timeout.
I don't know if they need to be put in timeout. You basically put him in and Metzley in timeout.
Yes,
We should
and
really
it's
invest in
amazing.
From
family
each
therapy.
other.
Probably. They're god of therapy. Or should be.
That is not my job. No. I
Avoid
do
spiders.
Boy, spider.
Be
Oh no.
new up and coming in the pantheon.
Okay. Okay, what about this? Okay, we go to the new sun
Mm-hmm.
and we talk to them about what's happening. Maybe convince them to stop working on it and just let us have the old sun back.
Okay. I like that. What if we tell them to stop working on it? Actually, no, continue to work on it, and we choose a new god of the sun. But it has to be like through like vote or something, because there's no way in hell I'm letting any of them try to, because they went against rules.
I mean, I feel like if we let it be created without a god attached to it, it might just spawn one.
That's also valid.
Oh boy.
But then we don't know anything about this new god. Could be worse than my son. I don't know. I love my son. I'm just going to say that.
Know of her.
I like Gloria.
We can reason with her. Unlike my brother, we can't reason with him. He's way
You
too
can't
hot-headed.
You can't reason with him because you are also hot-headed and you yell at each other immediately.
Yeah, basically, that who is saying like who rose up into the sky and like chaos happened, giggling.
I was saving a city.
I think it was more of a cackling than a giggling. But I only saw the tail end of it. So.
Okay. So, I can pause the world for 3 minutes. I'll let you guys have that. Talk to her for 3 minutes. And after that, whatever happens, happens. Is that okay?
I should have brought Zaryvia.
I mean, it's fine with me as long as we know what we're doing, what the plan is.
Yeah, just if you guys can reason with her within 3 minutes. Okay.
If she's even here. We don't know if she's here.
If she's not here, then that's a big, huge plus, and that is like a good mark in my book. That means she listened to you.
How we go?
Yeah, let's go to the new sun first.
Yeah. New sun first.
Alright. Okay. You travel down, 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 down into the depths of the earth. And there's a point in time where it gets only colder. But then, as you're walking, there's a kind of limpid heat. It's humid, almost. And the smell of sulfur and that metallic scent of iron and other heavy metals fills the air. And it takes a long time to get down there. But you exit this lengthy staircase. The spiders They went back up. Except for the tarantula, I think. The tarantula is your buddy now.
He's fine.
All of the other spiders were put off by the heat, and started crawling away into the crevices of the earth.
I think I just give off like a coldness, so
Yeah.
he's just like fine.
He's like chilling somewhere like kind of like in your hair, because that's like where it's cold. Opposite to normal people, like where it's like hot back here. It's like there's like a chillness, so he can just kind of like nestle in there and be nice and comfy.
None
Be nice and
chill
comfy.
vibes only.
Chill vibes only. He said, "Excuse me, this is my house now." And a cavern opens up in front of you, and you're almost stunned by the amount of light that is suddenly there. There's kind of a deep ravine in a swirling pit of magma that kind of trickles here and there. This cavern is massive. It probably extends underneath most of the mountain range. And in kind of a very large, corroded, semi-melting throne sits a giant being that is made purely of that crackling, hissing lava below. You can see the veins of more molten, hot iron liquid coursing throughout his body, and some of the places on the outside where the air has cooled it to a more hard texture. And some pieces are shinier, some pieces are kind of like a ruddy, dark rock. There's glassy, dark black, glassy type material. And his face is all glowing red with these big horns that stick out from the top of his head. And there is a little fire circle floating balanced in the top of the crest of his horns, just kind of like crackling with energy. And he has his hands up, long fingers tipped with kind of like metallic looking glow over a orb that is in kind of a like little cauldron space, like a little, I guess you could almost call it a caldera, but it's underground, which is weird. And it's just kind of floating there, hovering. Feeding it bits of metal. He's feeding it certain elements. Occasionally he says a word to it or blows on it. And this ball of gaseous heat has this like almost bluish light that it itself is creating. And he looks over. Welcome, travelers. I don't get many visitors. What brings you down here to my abode? And there's like steam that comes out of an air vent beside you.
That? They're pointing at the orb.
Yeah, mostly that.
This is my finest creation yet. Sun. Easily rivaling the old one.
Right. On that note, do you know what happened to the old one?
Gothadul took it. It lights her garden.
Right. And you couldn't have just made a sun to light the garden instead of taking...
Gothadul didn't have the means to make a new sun.
They couldn't just ask you to do it?
I required a lot, and I still have things I require to make a new sun. This has been no easy task.
How long have you been working?
I've been working for what feels like minutes. It also feels a little like centuries. I don't denote the passage of time. Time down here, it gets a little humdrum.
But was it prior to Gothadul taking the sun?
Yes.
Huh.
This sun I've been working on. As soon as Gloria told me that she had interest and handed me some of her essence, that is when I began making the sun. I don't think either of us got that all stealing the current sun. But, you know, Gloria is a strong leader. She has her ways. She asked me to begin construction of a sun, in hopes that maybe it would, one day, crest the sky, and I so hope it does. It is my finest work yet.
Very conveniently timed.
Yes. Well, Godad-ul is the ruler of the Underworld, and thus she might have noticed that Gloria, being of light, came to visit me. I don't know that anything bad happened in that little knowledge, but I find it very hard to believe that Gothad-ul didn't know that Gloria came to see me. She has eyes everywhere, you know.
So she doesn't just watch the Underworld?
Though she watches all that is her domain. All that resides under the Earth's crust. She looks after. The Underworld where the spirits are, she mainly resides in, but all those who meander through the dark report back to her in some way or another. She was here long before. Many. Of course you know. As her mother. Of sorts.
Of sorts. Well, her and Gloria would have reason to work together on this, so.
I'm sure. I think Gloria might be a little too self-confident. Not that confidence is a bad thing, of course. Hashtag all women should be confident. But...
What is a hashtag?
Oh, it's this weird little score that I've started putting into the ground, and sometimes... It's delightful. You should play it. It's called X's and O's.
Oh.
Right.
Would you
Sounds
like to
neat.
play a game of X's and O's? Oh, that would be delightful.
Sure.
Sure.
Yeah,
Why not?
We can keep talking while we play. How about that?
absolutely, absolutely. He slides down off of his little throne and almost shrinks as he gets a little closer. And then he's kind of just slightly bigger than everybody, chilling in the lava-y area right off of the cliff that you guys would have come up to.
How bright is this space right now?
Very bright.
Okay. Yeah, I think Nuka has pretty much lost her. It's just kind of like shadowy vapor.
Shadowy vapor. We love it. We love to see it. And he leans over and scores into the earth in front of you. A little crosshatch mark. A little pound sign. And lays down these bars of metal. Some of them are in circles, and some of them are in X's. He lays them out by the game table, which is just the ground at your feet.
Right.
X's or O's?
O's.
Perfect. I love X's. That means I get to go first. He places an X down into the center of the board. I will not detail for our beautiful viewers exactly how this X's and O's game goes, because I feel like that might be boring.
Right.
But please note that it is
The
happening.
fate of the world
It
might rest on it.
is
To see who wins.
okay. Is this sun better than mine that I made?
It's an improvement. It's like your sun was the base schematic that was worked off of. It bears a lot of resemblance. It's mainly just kind of the fervor of the fire inside of it, and it almost burns cleaner. And it has a nice feeling that Gloria leaves everybody with. It's interesting. It's hard to say for you anyway, as the creator of the first sun, and that your sun is the sun. But it doesn't seem bad by any stretch. It could be an improvement very easily.
A little bit put off that it's better than mine.
Oh no! Angry.
It's fine.
Angry
fine.
nunca. Do
fine.
you have any more questions for Pharaohs as you play this game of X's and O's?
I think while he's kind of like explaining the game and playing with Nunca, that I'm gonna like examine their son, because there was something that I was thinking of bringing up to Strix one day, but didn't know how to approach because of the whole like casting across the sky kind of deal. But I want to see if it's possible to eclipse their sun.
Oh. Roll. Oof.
What stat is oof?
Oof.
If you want a list of my aspects, one of them is Depth of the Dark, the other one is I'm the Moon. Like, I don't know. Child of Night, Lunarcry, and Cunning Tactician.
I think you could invoke Cunning Tactician.
Okay.
And you would, of course, spend a fate point to invoke it. And it would add a +2 to your roll.
Okay. That's
Which
plus
I'm
4.
it would be clever probably, right?
It's actually cunning tactician is actually wise.
Ooh. Okay. Yeah. Roll your wisdom.
Question. Does an
Yes.
eclipse count as weather?
Ooh, I don't know.
That seems philosophical, and like I could get in a lot of trouble with what I decide the answer to that question is. Give me 1 second here. Metzley.
7.
7? That's pretty
Yeah.
solid. You think maybe the sun is a little smaller. It's a little brighter. It's a little hotter. But if it was placed in just the right spot, even maybe if you had a hand in where it was placed in the sky, it could be easy to orchestrate a schedule where your moon crosses the sun's path and blots it out in the middle of the day.
Okay.
It's possible. It's possible. Marevir, I'm gonna say absolutely, sure. It totally counts as weather.
Oh, cool. I was just gonna see if I could predict the weather to see if it was gonna get eclipsed.
Oh, well,
Amazing.
it's not gonna be weather until it's like up in the sky.
True.
Yeah.
Because the sky is where all weather is, duh.
Of course, right. Naturally.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like
Um,
basically like the way this looks is like I'm looking at it just kind of like standing there and then looking at like the wall behind us and then like every so often taking a couple steps back and just like moving my hand a little bit. It's like, okay, no. Okay, I see.
Are you doing this subtly?
A little to the left.
I don't think so. I'm
Okay.
just like
Just
it's
doing
like
it?
I'm just like kind of messing with it. Like
Dope.
I'm not like actually eclipsing the sun, but like just kind of like gauging like if the wall were the planet where I would
Gotcha.
have to be versus where it has to be.
So, Strix and Marevir, you do both see that. Also, I'm gonna bump your wisdom token,
Mhm.
Mitzley, on down the
Uh,
line.
yes, indeed.
Wisdom. There you go.
Can I ask Pharaohs, when was the last time you talked to Gloria?
I hadn't spoken to her recently. She's been, I think, working on trying to figure a way into Zaryvia abdicating. I'm not sure, but the last time I saw her was when she gave me a piece of her essence to start this project.
Okay. And Gotaro? When was the last time you talked to her?
You know, I haven't seen her in a minute. I spoke.
It doesn't come down here?
We spoke briefly over some tea. She makes delightful crumpets. We spoke together over tea recently. Just talked about how it was going in my part of the Underworld. We were, you know, not too much company down here, and she knows that, and she understands loneliness. Wanting to find equals who you can talk to.
I understand that.
So we visit. She plays X's and O's. She's excellent. Excellent at X's and O's.
It's a fun game.
She's the one who started calling it a hashtag.
You do excellent work. This is, as much as I hate to say it, an improvement on my own son.
I, my dear, would say that it is hard to create something entirely new. And without your son, I probably would have had a lot more difficulty in creating any son.
Well, it does make me feel a little better.
You ever considered making a lighthouse?
Making a lighthouse?
Yeah.
Oh, that would be cool. What if we had lighthouses that did not operate off of the use of fire being reflected from something disc-like? What if the lighthouses manufactured their own light?
Let's not get too crazy.
That could be amazing. You'll have to come back down here and talk to me on that.
I mean, I may have to commission something.
Yes.
Very
honestly.
good at what you do.
You know, my commissions are pretty open generally. I've got a couple of projects. There's some islands that I'm creating out in the ocean right now. I'm sure you've seen them, Marevir. There's...
Seen a few.
Yes, they're growing. It's so nice to see them, and I really just hope that one day some humans will call them home.
You know, there is, it's a little hard to get around, you know, in the desert. And I quite like Metzley's, you know, ships. You think you could make something that would work in the sand?
I believe maybe me and the West Wind could work together on that. The West Wind is very cunning. Strix, the West Wind is one of your half-brothers. The winds were born out of chaos, like 100%.
Yeah. Okay.
Very powerful, very fast, very smart, annoying as fuck. But, you know, it could help in the desert. Who knows?
I mean, yeah.
No, the West Wind, he's a smart chap. It's a shame that he came from the father that he did.
Totally not here at all.
Strix, dear, you are magnificent. I didn't think I needed to dote on you at all. You are very strong.
Mm-hmm.
Not all mortals ascend to godhood.
Mm-hmm.
Your story is astounding.
Mm-hmm.
Truly.
Mm-hmm. I really like this fighter. He can totally keep going.
I really,
Next,
really...
do you wanna play one of those hashtag things while they do that for an hour?
He does continue. He mentions, like, it's been kind of nice that some of the people that are judged get thrown into the volcano. And then I get something out. Like, it's kind of nice that I'm kind of the fairy there for a second. You know, the ferryman gets all the cool things, and I feel useful in those times.
Yeah, I tried to like drive them away from that, but they're just like, no, the volcano god can totally give us stuff if we sacrifice people. I'm like, okay, sure, why not? I'm glad you're having fun with that.
I'm having just loads of fun. It's delightful. Mortals are very strange creatures.
Thanks again.
Yes, of course. Playing a game of X's and O's too.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm gonna, like, Make some clever. Everybody y'all make clever rolls for me.
Okay.
I get a
I'm gonna
minus
do
one
one
because
too.
it's so bright in here.
Oh no!
Ooh, that's not great.
Haha.
What?
I got
That's
a 5.
That's a 1.
Oh,
A 2.
I got a 2. It's not terrible.
Sean, what did you get?
I got a 5.
So, Sean Marevir wins against Mesley. Mesley and Strix play. Strix wins. Strix and Sean then play, or Strix and Marevir play, and then Marevir wins. And in all this time, Nunca, you've been playing and talking with Pharaohs. And see, that's a -1. Those are zeros. +1. So that's 0 plus 3. He wins barely. He's got a +3.
Okay.
Dope.
Well, looks like you take this round.
You're welcome to come back anytime and play, dear. I get way too few.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not too far away. I don't know why. I actually didn't know anybody was down here.
Really? We've been
I've
down
been
here.
asleep.
You did have, like, which is valid, you know, going to sleep for a little while after a lot of creation is paramount to one's health.
That's true.
I
You know,
think
the void doesn't really have like a floor. Do you think you could make like a, I don't know, like a mat or something?
a void mat.
No, like for this game. It is delightful.
Oh, yes. I think that would be very easy to do. Just come by and pick it up. Probably in the next couple of days.
You know, you're welcome to visit too. I'll probably come back.
Oh, when I visit people, it generally ends in unhappiness, because then the whole area around has a tendency of catching fire.
I mean,
And
it's
it's
the void,
lava.
so I don't think it can.
You
Fair.
could visit at the bottom of the ocean?
I could. There's a few cracks in there where I've come up and see your work as well, like the fishes. There's fishes down there that, like, live around my little volcano spouts down there.
Yeah.
That is how did that happen? Like,
They're
there are-
insane. I keep telling them to not do that. They don't listen to me. And there they are.
they're living very nicely around, like, the rims of the volcanoes. I've never seen such a thing in my life. They're my favorite.
I'll be sure to let them know.
Please do. Please do. I do. I need you to. I do. I will ask you. I'll ask the DM now. Hello. I've been an old man for, like, a long time. It's fine. What is your next step? Group?
I think we should talk to Go.
Yeah, we still have yet to get a son, so
Yeah.
I kind of think that maybe we should just let him continue. It's better than mine.
I mean, yeah.
also the current sun god's an asshole. Kind of sucks.
That's my son. Hey, watch it.
It's
He is
true though, mother.
my uncle.
And plus, it's Marevir is like a grandchild to us, so you could say that.
That's true. I think I need to talk to him more. I think maybe he's acting out.
I mean, like I said, maybe I could do something like demote him a little bit.
Maybe.
Not necessarily advocate him, but
He might not be opposed to that. He might be tired of being what he is.
yeah.
I thought it was his favorite thing though.
I mean, his favorite thing is mostly women, so maybe he could just be like the god of lust or something.
We have one of those.
Yeah, he could be like the god of.
No, we have a goddess of
Great.
love. We don't have a god of lust.
Oh. Fair.
There haven't been any like, well, Bacchus exists, which is like a god
Right.
of partying, but I mean, it's like one has not cropped up thusly.
I mean, I think maybe he could use a break too. I know it helped when I took a nap. Maybe he
Make
just
him-
needs time to find himself.
Yeah,
I did
Maybe
kind of.
he needs a
dating
nap.
apps.
Son needs a nap.
Yes.
The end.
I mean, maybe he just needs to find himself. I did kind of push this on you guys without asking.
At a very young
I love it.
age.
Do you think he would
Yeah,
find himself
non-existent.
if he was suddenly underwater? By a lot.
So like drowning him.
I don't need to drown. He doesn't have to drown.
I
I
like that idea.
I mean, you want him to come stay with you for a while? Is that what?
That is not what I said.
Yeah, spend time with your dad. That'll be nice.
Right. Yeah, I don't think there's anything particularly that I want to say.
Okay.
You'd say
I-
hi.
Yeah, I think my vote is to go talk to Gothero to see what exactly her place was in this plan,
Sure.
and leave him Pharos to what he's doing. He's having a great time. We'll just
He's
let him.
vibing.
I like
100%.
him.
I
Ferris
like
is super chill. He's got like massive, molten lava horns and like sharp bits of metal, but he's just kind of vibing.
Yeah.
I am going to roll subtle because I would like to hang back just a tad.
Okay.
Like still follow everybody out, but basically be the last one out. Turn to Pharos and just let him know that I like what he's done with the place.
Okay.
And like basically talking about the sun, and I kind of want to bleed intention into this area
Oh
to
my
assist.
god.
Oh. Oh dear. Okay,
You're
alright.
gonna mess it up. There's too many cooks in the kitchen. You can't do that.
Roll subtle to see if what you're doing is sneaky.
You're gonna put some moon in the sun? That's insanity.
I will
Well, I
You know,
wanna
allow.
you
be
keep
able to
talking
focus.
about how your brother's an asshole, but like,
Yeah.
We'll just put both of
You're
them to
also an
sleep. Just
asshole.
have to get both of them.
He's just the bold version of
I
me.
will allow the rest of you to roll swift or bold.
Ooh.
One of the two.
I will roll swift. It's my best stat.
it's still too dark and too light and.
Alright, I got a 3.
7. Very nice. 3? Nope.
I got a 1.
Okay. Alexi, what'd you say?
0.
Oh, yeah, no. All of you are kind of walking up talking about what Gotthardul's place in this plan might be.
Mm-hmm.
What her reasoning might be. Whether Gloria was being intentional in this whole thing or not.
Mm-hmm.
Because nobody really knows. Like, Nunca, you didn't get the vibe that she was lying when she was talking to you. So, it could just be all happenstance. So you're talking about all of those things, and you don't notice Metzley dropping back a bit. What do you say to Pharos?
This is a great idea that I fully support. But we'll have to talk a little bit about placements.
Me? a... Let's see. I'm gonna say a bold roll.
Ooh. That's 3 pluses plus my 0. That's a 3.
A 3. Well, that's still pretty good. And Pharaoh's thinks on it. I will say, if you have a fate point to spend, you could spend it to influence that die roll, and then
Still
for
5.
free bleed the intention, instead of
Yeah.
having to spend it to do whatever. And then this roll also would be better.
Okay, I'll do that for sure.
Okay. So then that would make it a 5.
A 5.
And he nods. Noted. You are currently the biggest celestial body in the sky. When we get to putting it up, I will reach out and contact you.
Hang it like a
Wouldn't want
Christmas
to mess
ornament.
up the cosmology, as it were.
And plus,
And
I
then-
think you'd like the effects.
And then you bleed intention. And what about this place is fundamentally changed by the energy that you so casually drop into the underworld?
Essentially, so this area specifically is like this giant caldera, this giant forge,
Mhm.
and he's working with the heat of the metal and the molten rock and everything like that. But
Mhm.
when he's making things, he needs to cool stuff. And so somewhere there, maybe behind his throne or something, somewhere in the shade of his forge, there is just a pool of darkness and just the absence of that heat, essentially the dark side of the moon, where it's
a
just
moon pool, so
frigid.
to speak.
Yes.
Alright,
So
okay.
that
alright.
so that he can work faster by being able to cool things and not let them cool.
I'm gonna write that down. You should also write that down. He does notice. He will notice. He's a little uncertain about your game plan. And I think we will leave it there for this evening. I'm sorry we went like a little bit long. This story has some twists and turns that I'm definitely trying to make sure that our beautiful pantheon has a lot of say in.
You sneaky sneak.
Yes!
Sneaky of sneaky.
I'm down
Dude!
for it. I have no reason to be upset by you doing that at all. So, like, more
Ruben is
power
the
to you, I
secret
guess.
PvEG. He was planning
this
it all
game-
along.
This game has a lot of talking. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does a lot. Most of it's roleplay. It's nice. I fully support. It is pay what you want on the Evil Hat website right now to get a copy of this game. So I would fully support.
$700.
I mean, you could, and I'm sure they would be very happy.
Mhm.
And then offer to continue sponsorship with us. But
Right?
go buy it. I mean, I paid $4. You could definitely pay less. So, I'll
700.
drop the link in the chat.
The only
Evil
one stopping you
Hat.
is yourself.
Yeah, go buy it. Like, it's good shit. It's a
Well,
really
do
fun
it.
game.
Mhm.
Especially
Also,
in your roleplay muscles. Continue.
also, don't forget right now, make sure you put hot in the chat.
Yeah.
Yep.
Put hot.
Not hashtag hot, exclamation point hot.
Exclamation point
Yeah,
hot.
not X's and O's hot.
Right.
Yeah.
Exclamation hot.
You are
Yes.
still currently not too late. Put in the right now. I'll
Yep.
give you guys.
Otherwise, I will try to win more cool things from that.
Yeah,
Right?
bro. I will just put us on the leaving screen to give you guys some time. Make sure you do the thing, and we'll see you next week for our grand finale, which I will apologize for now if it runs long as well, but finales are finales. You have to
Yep.
give them their due.
There's probably gonna be some moon nonsense involved if
Yeah,
tonight
some
was
weird
any
ass-
indication of anything.
Yes, it's
Wow.
gonna be wild.
Constant moon nonsense.
Come back, please,
Put
and
them
see
both in
this
timeout.
this hashtag moon nonsense going on. My God. Okay. Have fun. Good night. We'll see you
Good
next
night,
week.
everyone.
Good
Bye.
night. We love you.
Yeah.
I love you more. Don't let them trick you.
I
You belong to me. Joy. No, that's all.